According to official estimates, Nigeria has the sixth largest population in the world and the largest in Africa. Official estimates shows that as of 2019, Nigeria's population was slightly over 200 million, with 50% being women. The Nigerian society is patriarchal in nature, which is a major feature of a traditional society. It is a structure of a set of social relations with material base, which enables men to dominate women. Women are therefore discriminated upon from, in most cases, acquiring formal education, mistreated and perpetually kept as house help. The average Nigerian woman is seen as an available object for prostitution, forced marriage, street hawking, instrument of wide-range trafficking, and a misfit in the society. Thus, the purported irrelevance associated with the status of women in society has merely reduced an average woman to an inferior commodity. The patriarchal society sets the parameters for women structurally unequal position in families and society. This explains even why many women are still underrepresented even in politics, economic, and social aspects of life throughout the Nigerian society. Women of the world want and deserve an equal future, free from stigma, stereotypes, and violence. A future that is sustainable, peaceful, with equal rights and opportunities for all. To get us there, the world needs women at every table where decisions are being made. Women's full and effective participation and leadership in all areas of life drives progress for everyone. Yet, women are still underrepresented in public life and decision-making. As revealed in the UN Secretary General's recent report, women are heads of state or government in 22 countries, and only 24.9% of national parliamentarians are women. At the current rate of progress, gender equality among heads of government will take over 130 years. In Nigeria alone, in 2019, it was women who lost yet again, a failure to attain the minimum one-third, that is 30% women's representation stipulated in several regional and global conventions to which Nigeria is a signatory. This is often the case in the absence of internationally established structures to lower the cost of entrance, safeguards against the culture of politics as a life and death venture. Instead, women's progress in gaining access to political power was yet again diminished by an ever-expanding host of structural, functional, and personal factors. A report by the Center for Democracy and Development noted that in the last general elections, the presidential elections, women contestants accounted for only 8.22%. The senatorial elections, women contestants accounted for 12.34%, with only 7 women out of the 1904 candidates elected. That's out of 1,904 candidates elected. On the other hand, for the House of Representatives, the lower chamber of the legislature, female candidates accounted for just 11.39%, and eventually 11 were elected out of 4,680 candidates. For governorship elections, female candidates accounted for just 3.07%, while for the State House of Assemblies, they accounted for 12.51%. 40 women were eventually elected into the State Houses of Assemblies out of the 14,583 total candidates across the 36 states. Globally, women are also at the forefront of the battle against COVID-19. As frontline and health sector workers, as scientists, doctors, and caregivers, yet they get paid 11% less globally than their male counterparts. An analysis of COVID-19 tax team from 87 countries found only 3.5% of them had gender parity. When women lead, we see positive results. Some of the most efficient and exemplary responses to COVID-19 pandemic were led by women. And women, especially young women, are at the forefront of diverse and inclusive movements, online on the streets for social justice, climate change, and equality in all parts of the world. Yet, women under 30 are less than 1% of parliamentarians worldwide. Low representation of women worldwide is also very visible in economic resource control. To mark this year's International Women's Day, with the theme Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World, we are advocating for government support with a special focus on women because the impact of COVID-19 on women affects and analyze the effects of COVID-19 on all sectors of women's lives and most of their living experiences. This government can do by placing a special focus on women, especially those living in the rural areas, and see how it could address their plight. To this end, we are calling on government to provide agricultural inputs to women in rural areas to enhance food production and reduce workload through the use of appropriate technologies along the chain of agricultural production. Women, like their male counterparts, can be big-time farmers in Nigeria if given the necessary and desired support by government and corporate organizations like banks. Of course, we have women who are so enterprising, but for the lack of the financial backing, they have gone back into their shades. After all, we have women who are very successful in other businesses, so why not in the agricultural sector? Government could also assist in the establishment of women shareholders multipurpose cooperatives in both urban and rural settings. Such cooperatives could serve as channels for the dissemination of information and for the provision of such assistance in dealing with health challenges like malaria, hepatitis, and COVID-19 that increase maternal mortality. A special gender-sensitive monitoring system should be developed and adopted by the central and commercial banks to ensure that loans and cash transfers target rich vulnerable women. Such a system could also guarantee that cash transfers do not fall into the hands of men and the less needy. The United Nations could develop gender-sensitive monitoring and impact checklists to assist countries with follow-up and assessment of their achievements in all sectors during the COVID-19 pandemic. One other dangerous and business monster in Nigeria is fuel increase. Each time the government increases fuel pump price, many businesses suffer because there's always an astronomical increase in prices of commodities and others, including transportation. What do we expect of the rural enterprising woman whose businesses suffer serious hiccups? It is in this light that we, the Nigerian Association of Women Entrepreneurs, NAWE, are not in support of the rumored planned fuel pump price by government this month. Over the years, such increase has been affecting the Nigerian economy negatively. It's unfortunate that women have become endangered species in northern Nigeria, with the abduction of school girls almost on a weekly basis, thereby hampering their educational pursuits. Even at home front, women are not psychologically stable due to the trauma they go through whenever their loved ones are kidnapped or killed by the insurgents or bandits. The increase in banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency across the nation, especially the northeast, northwest, and north central, is unacceptable. To this effect, as an association, NAWE calls for the following: equal opportunities in the social, economic, and political spheres. end to social stereotypes associated with the female gender, more government interventions directed at the girl child, strong partnership within the government and the civil societies to end gender-based violence against women and girls. Domestication of VAP Act to reduce cases of gender-based violence against women and girls. 30% affirmative action for all elective positions at all levels of government in the country. As an association, we, the members of Nigerian Association of Women Entrepreneurs, chooses to challenge the insistent rights abuse and marginalization of women in the social, political, and cultural spheres within the Nigerian society. We choose to challenge the unequal opportunities that exist in the Nigerian society. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development clearly states that gender cannot be a reason or criteria for lack of access to development programming and the realization of human rights. The Sustainable Development Goals SDGs framework includes 7 targets, which explicitly refer to women and 6 further targets on persons in vulnerable situations, which are women. Therefore, gender-based rights and implementation of inclusive policy framework that enhances the well-being of women and girls is central to the economic, political, social, and cultural spheres of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.